Call this meeting to order and stand for the pledge, if you please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Must be all fuzzy to do it. Two votes. Thank you for that. Amendments to the agenda.
Can I make one amendment?
I don't see one up.
I've talked to Pat Travers, the inspector for the Mechanic Street project, and I'd like to add board approval to, what are we calling this? Recoup damages from the contractor. Recoup liquidated damages.
Okay, I'll put that in new business. Part C.
Liquidated damage.
Were you okay with that? I guess we better have a motion.
Motion to put board approval to recoup damages.
Number second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, approval of the minutes of November 5th.
Move to approve the minutes of November 5th as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Additions, deletions, corrections?
I have an addition for this one.
Okay.
In the original minutes, on page 3, it says the board, Mr. Luke made a motion to approve payment of grant match not to exceed $13,000. This makes it look like the town was only contributing $13,000 to that project. I added not to exceed $37,000 with the $13,000 coming from grant match, and then the $25,000 supplied by the concerts in the park. Does that make sense?
Which part was that under?
Lighting in the park.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Second paragraph.
Yeah, I wonder if it just should be, just added, not change the motion, but add in, that information rather than changing the motion. Will that work as well?
Yes, no, that's perfect. We just needed to reflect that the $25,000 was coming from the concerts as well.
I just need to put that in the minutes, so if you can email it to me.
Sure.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we don't change the motion. Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. 5 minutes for public comment. Are you here for that?
I'm here for
that'll
public
work?
comment.
All right.
Representing the Slate Valley Board, as Jay pointed out, inviting you all to an open house we're having tomorrow night at 6:30 at the high school. We're going to propose a bond vote, hopefully town meeting, that will take care of infrastructure stuff and a couple of additions, one being the 7th and 8th grade addition to the high school, which will house the 7th and 8th grade from the district, and also Orwell is in need of a gym and cafeteria addition. So this is our first start into this. I brought some copies of the thing we're doing. You can, so it would be good, if you have any questions, to come up to the open house we're having tomorrow night. We're going to start at the high school because that's the place where most of the infrastructure is a problem, with heating, electrical, ADA accessible, and all that. So if you have any questions, I'm sure you all do, come up tomorrow night.
I have a question real quickly.
Sure, go ahead.
We got a high school up here that's good for 800 students. We have less than 400, about 418 students, I believe, in it now. Why do we need an addition? there's not 400 7th and 8th graders. Why do we need another addition in that school?
Well, to start with, we wanted to have a 7th and 8th grade that was totally separate from the school. There's a lot of concern in the district. We had a questionnaire went out during the summer or last spring. But anyways, there was a concern by parents that not to mix the 7th and 8th grade with the high school, body.
So we're going to have a high school up there that's lacking 400 students. It's going to be empty buildings, empty classrooms. And then we're going to have empty schools in the rest of the district because you're going to move these kids. This whole thing was supposed to save us money and has done nothing but increase our taxes from the day one the consolidation started. And this addition is ridiculous. I understand if they had put furnaces and stuff in, but the rest of it's ridiculous. $60 million. You're going to be making a payment of over $2.5 million a year for 30 years. You tell me if that's reasonable.
Well,
You can build a whole new school for $60 million.
well, the 60 million isn't the addition. I
That's
think it's-
$60 million we're borrowing. We don't need an
No, I
addition.
know, but at least half, well, I don't know if it's quite half of it, is infrastructure stuff with the.
$30 million?
Well, not
30
quite that
million?
much, I think it's less than that.
Uh,
But,
I don't think your numbers are accurate myself.
well, I'm not really
Oh, I
sure
got
what the
a, I got a
numbers
simple
are.
question.
Go ahead.
The Castleton Elementary School is gonna be empty,
Castle Village School.
village school.
Yeah,
It's got a gymnasium.
yeah.
Why don't we just rehabilitate that and put the 7th and 8th graders?
We don't have land there to accommodate 7th and 8th grade. District-wide, 7th and 8th grade. We don't have the outland, we don't have the parking, we don't have the athletic fields to accommodate the whole 7th and 8th grade. We can't well, the gym is there, but that village school needs a lot of infrastructure work also.
So,
And we're in hopes that if we can move the 7th and 8th grade out of there, move the 6th grade back to the Castle Elementary School, that Castle University, theoretically, is going to take over that building and take over the expense.
you see, I was gonna take the kids up to the Castleton College for their.
Over to Fairhaven Graded School, we're overcrowded there. Having the 7th and 8th grade out of there will free up some space that we can utilize there.
How many students are in 5th grade school?
I forget how many. But the problem is, we have a lot of property in town, and a lot of families move in here.
Yeah, and every time the school district takes a piece of property from the town of Fairhaven, the taxpayers in this town have to foot the bill. Because we lose it off our grand list. We've already lost it last year when you bought that property up there. The town is the one that's responsible for every time the school district buys a piece of property in this town. Because there is no taxes coming in on it. We automatically lose our tax base.
And how are you
Our
gonna use
grand
it?
list.
How are you gonna use that property? It's class 2 wetland.
Up there,
Airport road.
it's not class 2, I don't think. I think we have is class 3 maybe, or 4. Is there 3 and 4? I'm not sure, But one little caveat you don't know about is that the land at the graded school, that was all fouled up, and we had to go through a transfer of deeds in order to get it straightened out. The town didn't pay any of that. The school district paid all
I
that
understand that.
legal work and all
What
that.
I'm saying is,
So we took that responsibility on ourselves.
if they
because-
buy property in this town,
No, I know what you mean.
all right, but I mean, if the taxpayers in Fairhaven are the ones that are kicking the foot in the bill for this. It's been that way since, from day one. There's no asset of having this high school in this town. And it certainly isn't gonna make any
I
help
think,
this town if they put the 7th and 8th grade up there.
Well, there's some,
Then we had a
I would say
road repair
no.
fund and
I
a
wouldn't say
vehicle
it's,
replacement fund and a boiler replacement fund. If the grade school, what happened to that money?
I don't know about boiler, I heard Claire talking about that. I don't know about a boiler replacement fund. I know we have to replace the tank, the fuel tank that's there.
we're in the process of that here.
That's another infrastructure problem we're facing. But, like I said, come to the open house.
I hope the taxpayers in these 5 towns vote this down big time. Because it's ridiculous.
I support it because I think that with having the 7th and 8th grade together in one, and I think it helps out.
But you don't, you can
They
support,
will offer more of a variety of education to all the
so
kids.
you can support your taxes going up at least $450 a year for the next 30 years.
Well, it depends, I'm,
Plus, what the budget goes up every year.
You're hoping that some of it's offset out of the budget as well, correct?
yeah.
There is some cost savings to that.
Yeah,
It's gonna be in the
there's-
budget somewhere.
And when you're an old retired guy like me, you get a rebate on your taxes,
Somebody does.
so.
Is that amount of money is not all on Fairhaven, is that the entire district?
Well, our
Not
share
all
is
five towns?
45% of it, Clerk.
And if Castleton takes over the building in Castleton Village, won't they be buying that building and that goes into the fund?
No, they're not buying it, though.
They're right.
Well, we don't know that.
They're not buying it, that's the whole thing. If you read everything that's gone on, they're gonna rent the building, and that's it.
Well, that's income.
And that's not final yet.
No,
That's not even final.
People are having a hard time
Speculation.
paying their taxes now.
Well, that's the thing is that none of it is final. We haven't even had first meeting yet.
no, that's it, that's more
And
nice.
so we're debating a
That's
little
when
more.
you gotta come up and, you know,
Ask the
state your,
Why didn't they tell us this was gonna happen before they even, when they first started telling us about the consolidation?
They're crazy.
the 7th, 8th grade.
Bad
What
politics.
do you mean, the infrastructure stuff and all that?
Yeah, they knew that.
I don't know, I wasn't out there, so I don't know.
Thank you.
You're full board, I probably used my 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're fine, you're fine.
Thanks
Thank you.
anyway,
Thank
Rick.
you for giving us
High
that.
school board number?
Well, it's only one board,
Oh, so you're on the board.
Slate Valley Board.
Unified School District.
Yeah, so whatever the thing is, it's still on up right there, read it. So,
I won't be there, I gotta sell hot dogs with a crazy old blue here, so I'm leaving.
yeah. I encourage you, Jay, welcome up, more on.
You should, the more information, the better.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're still walking?
Okay.
These people can sell ice to Eskimos, I'm telling you right now.
Well, not always.
Oh, yeah. Is there anybody else? 5 minutes. Department head reports. Department head.
We've been just getting things ready for these snowstorms that have snuck up on me. I kind of got hit, but working through it. Last snowstorm, Nick was out with the skid steer and did some sidewalks that he wasn't supposed to do, but we worked through that. Got some work to do in the spring, but bought a sprayer system for the skid steer so I can pre-treat my sidewalk before the storm and stay ahead of that, so we won't have that issue this year. Hired a new guy, he started yesterday. He seems to be
What's his name?
Ed, I don't know his last name.
Longley.
Longley? But he's jumped right in, seems to be gonna be a pretty decent worker, so. The truck, I called them today and talked to him. They're putting the body on their truck, so we're both waiting. So he's thinking by next week, hopefully, everything will be switched around. So, I guess that's about it.
Questions? Just so it's official, I asked you about the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And, it's good about the treating,
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
That depot,
you're gonna bark up a lawn or two, don't worry about that, I mean, that's the way.
that
goes.
depot, when it's going down the center of the sidewalk, goes right to the bottom. What's up the stuff that's on the sidewalk?
yeah. Yeah, but I think this pre-treating is gonna help us to where maybe we won't be out there so much, you know what I mean? So,
What do you, just so I can, like, the guy that's always hammering me about sidewalks, what do you think the difference, the difference between the V-plow and the blower is for you guys?
Well, the thing with the blower, it doesn't get right to the bottom.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Also, it's quicker.
Huh?
The V-plow is quicker.
Yeah,
You can go right along.
it's messy.
It's messy.
Oh, for sure, but,
If you don't get out there and shovel your driveways, the ends of them,
But
it's,
well, it is, it's one or the other.
yeah.
Can you get an adapter for that missing pin thing so we can activate the plow?
Missing pin.
Well, I don't know, he says it has to stay in a fixed position because he can't.
Oh, yeah. No, I got, everything's gonna be, we're doing that tomorrow, so I can adjust it. Trouble is, if we go out anymore, it gets wider,
Right.
but we can,
you're so that no matter which way you go.
Well, yeah, both ways.
so,
That's actually half as
I mean,
much windrow each way.
it's one of those things where it works better for us now, but when it gets deeper, the snow blower's gonna work better, cause then we can blow it out, you know, so.
Nice to have an option.
And you've got more horsepower and hydraulic flow now, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you should be able to throw with that.
Yes. Yes.
Any other questions for Sam?
No, I mean, they're all right.
I think the deal with the sidewalks, the V-plow is nice part of it is, it's quick, you're out there getting it done before the kids have to walk to school. And, you know, I know everybody has a little problem because when they go by in front of my house and plow my yard, I have to go shovel my driveway. So, I mean, to me, the safety of the kids being able to walk down a sidewalk and not have to walk in the road, to me, that's more important than worrying about somebody's side, you know, pile of snow on their driveway or whatever.
Of course, if it had or froze up, we wouldn't have this, you know,
Yeah.
lawn store up and.
Exactly.
We have no frost, that's the worst
That's the
part.
thing, we don't, it's, so.
All good?
Very quickly. I'm not sure if the board had heard or not, but the planning commission met on the first Wednesday this month, and they did vote to allow 50% of first floor, 50%
Well, we didn't want
the
it.
first floor to be apartments.
What?
There is a process, and they're working through that process, and it has to end up on this board's table. So we have an opportunity.
We can stop that.
What?
I have an email into VLCT to see what we can and can't do, but you'll definitely have input.
We sent them a letter asking that they didn't do that, and why?
We're not
Yeah,
there.
no, they back off after they voted not to do it.
Oh, I understand that, what would be why did they want to do that?
So not defense, I'm not gonna make a defense of it, but, so what this does is, before it was wide open, right? It could have been 100% on the ground floor.
No.
Yeah. There was no prohibition against ground floor apartments before. Now it's 50%. That's
It
still.
should be zero.
I agree with that. But just to give you a heads up, they're working through the process. I know the board was interested in that. So it'll end up landing on the board of selectmen.
You say 50% of first floor. Is that the main street,
Just the Main Street.
on Main Street?
So we'll have picnic tables and lawn chairs and barbecues sitting on Main Street. It's gonna really be cute. That'll really bring a lot of business in.
That's a bad idea.
I think no matter what we do, stop doing everything we can to stop that.
Why did you do
So, I should have saved that for another time. On the table in front of you, I updated the grant list. We did not get the Adams Street Bridge grant. The lowest funded program they gave funding for was like $2.5 million. So this is for big infrastructure, and I guess we just didn't.
They did have a counter though, right?
Oh, what?
Didn't they give you a counter after?
Oh, no, earlier in the year I talked to another federal agency, and they said they'd give us half the cost of the bridge. but that's still $300,000 on our end. That's something to think about.
Best deal we heard yet.
That's better than 69.
Right.
We could eat 300,000, I'm sure.
Talk to the school. That's
Yeah, see, we-
included.
I don't think they're listening if we did talk to them.
They'll be talking.
I have a preliminary interview tomorrow for somebody to run the wastewater plant. The gentleman says he has all the qualifications he needs. I'm gonna pre-screen it. If he seems legitimate, then I'm gonna ask Sam and Peter to do the official interview. Sam and I roughed out a paving schedule for year 1, some of year 2. I sent that to you electronically. We still need to hammer out the rest of the out years. Mechanic Street we'll talk about in a minute. And the audit is finished. They'll be in on December 17th. We bumped Jenny's time back for that day as well, so that way she can come and just do one meeting. We did do an analysis, a rough analysis of some of the water meters that were installed, because there was some chatter on social media about how we're charging people for meters and the water bills have gone up dramatically. And from the 20 that we reviewed, there was an increase of 0.09, which is 92 gallons. That would be the average increase.
I don't think mine changed.
John, yours actually went down. Yours went up 500 gallons.
I,
Increase of
Yours went way down.
Mine went up badly.
Did it really? I thought, I just looked at the bill, I just thought it was like maybe
Was that
$10 more. something
cents?
0.09, you gotta multiply it by 1,000, so it's 92 gallons.
So this is gallons.
Gallons, 92 gallons.
The apartment house not more than 500.
I didn't pull that one. But, yeah, then we kind of expect some fluctuations. Some people were a little bit more, some was a little bit less, but overall it's seemingly unfounded that there are these great swings. Everybody's pretty much right where they should be.
People are going to talk.
They are, but I have to take it seriously because we are going through
We
a
all do.
process. So,
Well, I was gonna ask you to do something on it, I appreciate you
yeah.
doing that.
Sure.
Where are they with putting in meters?
Bev was busy with putting out bills and we didn't get a count. I'll bring a count to the next meeting and see what it looks like.
I've had, I don't know, at least 10 people tell me how professional the guys were that went to their houses. And I think that's a nice plus,
Yeah.
that the water department can hear that, because the one guy I talked to today he said the guys were polite, they came in and made sure there was nothing on the floor, they
Yeah.
cleaned everything up. And they're really impressed with the way the guys are doing the work.
They bring their bucket in, they catch all the drip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're, like I said.
And it's 10 minutes.
I think that's something that should be passed on.
Mr. Leduc is taking the remote off the wall quicker than.
But it's literally
The water
10
meter,
minutes.
and
It's
that's all
not-
right.
Yeah, they're just doing a good job.
Yeah, and cleaning and professional. Yeah.
Good.
That is good.
Yeah, we're lucky to have those guys.
Mhm.
And that's all I got. It's been nice and quiet.
Why'd you say that?
I know.
Alright, old business, anybody got any questions first?
No.
Okay. Digitization of town maps. Town clerk is here.
Yes. Well, this would be a one-time fee. We have about 400 maps currently needing. The older ones are from the 50s, and they are taking a beating as much as you try and keep them out of the way.
Are these our zoning,
No, these are survey maps.
okay, the survey
The
map,
big one.
Yes,
the ones that show all the contours and all that.
correct. There's about 400, and I believe you all have a letter
Do something.
that we were told they're $750 a piece to digitize. So it'd be about $3,000 the initial cost. And then we only have not even 10 a year that are filed. So we could even, wait a few years and then have those digitized at some point. But
Is that a good price of 3,000?
At $7.50 a map, I would say yes. It's in line with the system we have now. It's through CoFile. And I would bring the maps up to Burlington and they would be scanned and digitized there.
They are pretty rough.
And then the one system,
And it would be all in the system that I have now. You would be able to look up land records and zoning maps. Or survey maps.
Survey, yeah, right.
Budget wise, could you do half this year and half next year?
We could. Right now,
I
right now, there's 26,000, over 26,000 in the reserve account for restoration of the
That's
documents.
not a problem.
Want a motion to
she's
do
what
that?
it's for.
Yeah, she intends to take it out of the reserve account, not add to a budget.
Okay, that's my question, I mean,
Right.
I don't, that's good, I think.
I'd make a motion to digitalize the, town maps to come out of the reserve funds, not to exceed 3,000 this year.
Second.
Any other questions?
Can you get those online now?
No.
Once you do that, can we access them?
Once we put the system online, then yes. Right now, in the land records, I'm down to volume 69, which is 1999. So.
You won't put it on until you got it all?
No, probably not, but I'd like to go back at least 40 years, which is what a title search is.
Yep.
And
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
trying
and the
to,
question I have is, could I go in there when it gets done and just pick out my own lot instead of the whole page?
well, that would be the tax maps in town. These are the surveys. If you have a
Right.
survey on file, then yes, you would be
Yeah,
able to go in and find your survey.
I'm sure.
Or your neighbor's survey, or anybody in town's survey.
Yeah, that'd be handy.
See, I got my surveys filed.
Other questions?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Those opposed?
You said we're up to 1999 on the other ones?
Right.
Or you're back to?
Back to
Back to 99.
Back to
Not up
1999.
back,
When
Okay.
you go, how long will it take to go to 1800?
I don't read those.
How long did it take us to go the first 20 years then?
Well, right now, we're back, and we started about a year ago.
Right.
I've
And
done
we've
that.
gone back to volume 69, and now I'm recording in volume 109. So, we've gone back,
So in
We've gone back
another,
pretty
in
good.
about another year, you'll be back to your 40 years.
I'm hoping. I'm
Very good.
definitely hoping.
Good job.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
John mentioned tax mapping and it brought up something I forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah.
So in your package, you guys had this little pamphlet. Next week, the listers are coming in. They put, I think, $3,000 in their budget to put our tax maps, digitize our tax maps, so you will be able to do, just like John said, find your lot.
Well, that's what, not why I brought this up.
Oh, but I just want to let you know, there will be, that's what this is. It's an overview of that program, and the listers will be bringing in a presentation in 2 weeks.
Other towns have got some of this already.
I'm sure they do.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. A lot of preliminary questions asked or answered before you come in, that's half the battle. Okay. Sign the paperwork for the truck loan.
For everything.
Yep. So this is the loan for the new dump truck. There are 3 places to sign.
3.
3 places, got 3 lines.
Do you need a motion for that?
We did it, we already did it, this is just signing a bank loan, right?
Yeah.
Alright, while we're doing that, appointment of rescue squad board, did we send that? Did we put, we advertise that?
Yeah, we advertised on Facebook and in the newspaper. I did reach out to a couple people individually who had mentioned that they were interested.
Okay.
One young lady did call me and said she might be interested, but I never heard back. I reached back out to Sean last week, and he said yes, he was still interested in becoming a board member.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Sean Galvin as the rescue squad, on the rescue squad board for the town of Fairhaven.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Good.
I think he'll be a good person.
Yeah, he's got an organizational mind at least on that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think he will be. Okay, new business. Authorized representative for USDA portal.
Yes, so the town passed a bond vote. Now, the board needs to appoint a authorized representative to be able to access the USDA funds and that I wrote was me. But I need approval by the board.
Well, we probably ought to do that. To appoint, I make a motion to appoint Joseph Gunther to the USDA, be our USDA authorized representative.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. One more.
Well, I was thinking something else there.
Yeah, well, I know, well, yeah.
I always go two places.
Oh, let's move another one there.
There's three. They stick on it.
Front one,
One more.
the front one, the blue one.
Find it.
I see three tags, right?
There you go. One more.
Keep going.
Signed it.
Keep going,
Got the green one?
keep going.
Signed it.
You got the last one?
Hold on. Where's the last one?
And you count three?
There it is.
Here it is, oh.
John.
Oh, John did that.
Oh, John. Sign this
Oh, I
one.
can't help him, I'm colorblind.
Okay. Parking lot grant discussion and that's request.
Yeah, so this is the second of two grant applications that I've put together that are due on the 22nd. This is to do some rehab down at the park and ride, something like what was suggested by Du Bois and King. Yep, so in your packet you have a picture. I imagine the bulb outs on each end and then the median to be funded through this grant.
Median's gonna have a curb? Is it
Yes,
a curb?
yeah, it's gonna be curbed with some vegetation in the middle there.
Is this for a study or to do the work?
This is to do the work, this is construction.
I have a little problem of, not having a break in the middle just to push snow across to get out of the area.
I don't get what you're talking about.
Well, you gotta push snow all the way down here, then bring it around here and bring it back up here to get rid of it.
No,
Probably
you push it out the road, or you push it out here, and you push it out on the road. What's that?
Well, as it is now, it all comes onto the park.
This is, yeah, but this is kind of preliminary. Where would you push it across and what good would it do?
Well, if you made a hole here, you can push it down to the hole and push it across. You can same over here and push it across.
You wanna push it that way?
Why?
Because you're pushing from the house.
No, to the park, this way.
This whole picture isn't good?
I don't,
Well,
let's,
Yeah, this last snowstorm, I pushed all of it down the air.
yeah.
We'll do the curbing right here, but
So this is a,
Instead of on the lawn, the lawn just gets tore up.
this is kind of preliminary. I mean, if that was a major concern, we can adjust this a little bit. This isn't final.
oh, no, of course not.
So,
this is just for the parking, nothing across the street, right?
No, nothing across the street. They would hang all of us if we touched
This
it.
is just for here.
Yes.
yeah.
I did have to, in the original packet that I gave you, I did have to make some adjustments just because they'll only fund 300,000. I pulled out the lights and the repaving of that lot, which brings the town match down to $65,620.50.
That's a lot of money on this.
Where is that money coming?
This I had coming out of streets and sidewalks.
Is there that much in there?
Even after this comes out, you still have about 100,000 in there.
After you do all projects.
after we do all the projects. And that counts Mechanic Street as well.
Yeah.
coming
We, yeah, and we haven't talked about funding or
How much is?
replacing any of that in the budget yet. Yeah, okay. So that's possible too.
And Joe, the people, the guys that did the railroad
For
crossing,
this much.
up until he goes here. I'm sorry?
the people that did the railroad crossing, I talked to them, and they're supposed to give me
Give you
a
some-
price on this, so they do curb work.
Wonderful. And this is only the, I mean,
Yeah.
to that point though, this is only preliminary.
Right.
Like Mechanic Street, if we did win, we'd have to put this out to bid, and then because it's state, the lowest bid would win. So, your
Can
ceiling,
we change that?
unfortunately, no. Yeah, I know.
Low bid ain't always a good thing.
No.
Found that out.
But we have a right to choice, correct? I mean, if we get, say, 4 bids, and within reason, I mean, we don't have to take the lowest one, correct?
This is funded the same way the Mechanic Street was funded, no, you have to take a little bit.
But if that company bids on it again, on something like this,
Yeah, well, let's make sure
There's
that,
2 of them that we would not.
yeah, well, let's make sure that we make the bids very specific, so if there's a,
Yeah.
if there's a potential of not, you know, somebody not bidding properly, that we can eliminate that person, I mean, that's legitimate, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's make sure that that's, and I think if people see this, it's a lot of money, but I think if people see this, they'll see the potential of, and this isn't hurting us, this isn't hurting us in plowing, or we gain parking places here.
that is the best part of the game.
And we're not doing anything with the other side of in front of the businesses, or in front of Durfee's.
And the money is already
There.
Money's there, so it's not like we're gonna add to the tax rate.
Right.
And it will show them that it's a start on revitalizing. And
I mean,
it's certainly gonna make a difference, I think, with a deep, everything set up like this down.
and it adds a little green space, I mean, it's not much, but it's a little something.
Well, it's more organized too. I mean,
Yes.
They're not
Yes.
just.
I got one question, on the, Main Street side, I didn't see any handicap parking in that area,
Well,
Oh, that's-
they can put it.
Yeah, you could paint that in.
you know,
Right there, John.
one, I can see it now. But we need more than one there.
You're familiar, you're obviously
I
familiar.
saw the one that the other agency had put out, so if it's similar to that, then I have seen it.
Yeah,
The only thing that I was, kind of questioning is at the end where the Marble Mansion is, on that side right there, it's really kind of a free-for-all right there, so, I don't know if the plan has it designated so it's more of a street, because it's such a big space.
Yeah.
That
It
is
won't be a
like-
big space now.
So they did put it down until that.
it's one way this way and come out and go back that way, so.
And it
And
narrows
you
that off
got
on the other
those,
side.
you got those sidewalks and that's probably a bulldog, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So
This
you
is the
have-
only one I was
You know,
thinking
that
of.
narrows that area up, Cindy.
It does, it makes it more
Drivable,
defined.
drivable is defined, yeah.
Yeah, because it's so willy-nilly right now, but, I mean, I
This
think,
will basically what the street is, as we get all done.
Right.
From here to here.
Yeah.
Which now this is all open.
Yeah,
It's a hot spot.
It'll,
No control.
Is there
there.
interest in finishing up this, so this side is all done?
I don't know, how much does that add to that?
We're pretty
Well,
much at the
You're
max.
at
We're
the
at
max
max
anyway.
now.
Yeah.
I had to take
I mean, it would be nice, and maybe that's the next phase, because there's that, some of the, like the bulb out here, I think the more I think about it, the more they seem important, it's really tough to see people coming out of there.
Well, if you really want people to park where you have to make it pretty easy to walk
Oh,
across.
yeah.
What we need to do
That's
there,
what
Bob,
this sort of stuff does.
what we need there is to eliminate the parking there on the slash parking area out here. and Sundays.
Yeah.
And the teachers like to park in there too.
We have that problem.
We can't read.
We don't have.
All right, so we're back to here. What do you need from us at this point? Do you-
I would need board approval to use $65,621 as grant match.
What's your pleasure, folks?
Now, on this, I mean, are the people gonna get mad because you're doing this and the roads are not gonna get paved?
We're not gonna pave it at this point.
No, I mean, but you're spending about 300 and some odd $1,000.
Well, we're only spending 65 of the sidewalk.
I know, but
Well, they may, but you know what? Whatever we do, they're gonna get mad.
Exactly, and this is very much needed in downtown.
I think it'll
I mean, it's,
spruce it up.
I mean, Joe and I got it pretty good where we can do most of the north end right now, so.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. I think that at some point, we're gonna have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time, and I really do. We deferred what we can defer for forever, and now it's coming home to bite us, and we've got, plus you can't leave downtown alone forever. We've done that, and
Joe,
that
I
didn't
have
work.
a question. In that parking right as it is now, are we changing that with this?
Will have to be, because that's handicap parking over there.
I don't understand you. Yes, the parking right would look to turn into this.
Hope you can put the parking right up here even if they have to.
Yeah, on the other end.
One thing I want to point out, this was one of the things that the board agreed on. This was one of our #1 projects that we had to see done. And I think, it wasn't like one person wanted to do this. I mean, the board had talked about it, and they wanted to try to get this part of it done.
Yeah, this was a priority, for sure.
Make a motion, anybody?
What was the total?
It's on the bottom there.
65.
I don't know, he might have a.
I got one that says 72.
No, you,
65.
We have eliminated the,
oh, wait a minute.
this plan does eliminate all of the handicap parking on the south end of the park that we use for the concerts.
All that stuff can be addressed.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had one with an error. It is the one you had, one with the 72 number.
Cause John, all you had to do is paint in some
I'm sorry.
handicap
Is
parking.
that what it is?
It's that 72 number, yeah. The inspection, I
We
put
put
my
signage
math
up.
up wrong.
We put signage up, we got parallel parking in a lot of that area too.
I'll make the motion.
Greenspan.
Not to exceed 72,022.50
On the sidewalks.
out of sidewalk money toward this grant.
Sidewalk, street and sidewalk.
Street and sidewalk,
Okay.
not to exceed $72,022.50.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye. Unanimous. Good. Now we gotta be able to do both.
Now you got two going here.
Yep. Okay, then the Mechanic Street, Pat Travers report is,
So I talked to Pat today, the contractor is banging on his door looking for some money. There are still some low spots that they did wrong that need to be corrected. When I went through today, there were still three areas that had water pooling pretty heavy on the sidewalk. They're looking into seeing what we can do about that. Apparently it was built to spec. And right now we're between kind of a rock and a hard place. But the discussion today though is liquidated damages against Parker. They were 15 days overdue. They were 15 days too long on the contract. At 15 days, at $1,700 a day, means we should subtract $25,500 from their invoice. And I need Board of Selectmen approval to do that.
so moved. Second?
I'll second the discussion. this has all been, it's legal that we can do this.
It's documented.
Yep, well, it was in the V-Trans contract
It was in the contract.
that they signed, and V-Trans actually gave us the,
Completion date?
yes, but not the authorization, but they said, this is in your contract, you can take these damages if you want.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I had an email from the young lady managing the project saying, you can do it now or you can do it at the end of the project. But
Did you pick the completion date, or did they tell you all those dates?
that was already in the contract, so.
No, but the day the engineer comes out to say it's finally done, who
The date-
makes that call?
That is our inspector, and he said it was 90% complete as of the 30th, which is substantial completion is what they're going for.
And what happens if you do this and they challenge it? Who ends up paying that 25 if we lose?
I
Say we go to
don't
court.
think they have a chance to challenge it, it's right in the contract.
It's literally, yeah, it's
It's-
literally like,
it's-
it would still be grant funded. So of that 25, what's that, $4,000 of ours, we still owe the 20% on, 20% on that. So 80-20 split.
And I guess the question that comes down to my mind is, do you think the contractor did the project in good faith? Do you think he worked as hard as he could to get it done?
But they started it late.
Yeah.
I mean, they told us they're gonna start it and it was gonna be completed before school started. And they never started until like 2 weeks before school.
Right.
Right?
I mean, so they prolonged the project to begin with, and then, even if they'd hustled, I mean, being so late when they started,
Right.
you know, I'm just, if the contract says it was a completion date, and we're entitled to, you know, for money per day, then why did he put it in the contract if it's not
Right.
something that can be enforced? I mean,
Right.
No, I'm sure it's enforceable.
no, I hear what you're saying too, but I mean, but, you know, I think we have to look at it,
They
my
don't-
feeling is if we don't do it, every time we have a contractor that comes in here and they say we're gonna have a completion date and they don't complete it at
They'll
that
walk
time,
off.
Yeah,
they're gonna walk all over you. I mean, we had this problem with our water project. With the completion and then, you know, what we ended up with finished product wasn't anywhere near what it should have been. Because
Well,
it
and
wasn't,
we did ask them to postpone until spring.
no, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
at the end,
We asked them this project, postpone till spring.
right,
Why don't you just wait?
which
And
they
they said
should,
no.
which they should have.
so, you know, we gave an offer, we gave
It was an option.
we gave an option, that's right.
I already know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyways. If this money isn't paid, what happens to it?
I don't understand.
Goes back to the state.
Yeah, it would just, if this brings us under budget, the state just keeps we don't get to keep it, unfortunately.
Because there's a lot of improvements we could do to that sidewalk that are spec or not, then, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand, it's off the subject, but I don't understand who's liable for saying, somebody had to know that this was happening, and we're the ones paying for it, and everybody's saying, well, it was built to spec. Which one of us here is a civil engineer?
Yeah.
So who should we go after?
I think the engineer we had on the project.
I think so too. I mean, I don't know, I don't understand how
Well,
we end up with a faulty product and everybody can walk away saying it was built to spec. You know?
I'd like to just say those 3 spots need some fixing. We'll pay the whole thing if you guys can just make the project. But they're 2 different
But
things.
they're 2
is the
different
problem.
Different things, because they went over
Yeah.
a ton.
Time.
That's what,
We're not gonna get any cooperation from that contracting
No.
company. They're not,
But you don't have to be an
there's no give
Einstein.
and take there.
Yeah.
But
To look now.
The problem is
where
it's
the
not
fire
like you have
hydrant is,
25,000, you can
dig
go
up
fix
there
the
in the ball
sidewalk. You're only
field,
gonna
back
have
towards
4
that first telephone pole, you can see the.
that next year. Like, if you could fix it while the grant's here,
Yeah, so maybe I'm not being clear. We are under budget, kind of significantly under budget. They're gonna draft up some numbers for a change order. And then the repairs to the sidewalk, even though it was built to spec, we can get that repaired under this grant.
Okay.
It's still gonna cost us the 20%, even though the engineer should have done it right the first time. But
That's better than a stick in the eye, but it's still not right.
I agree with you.
But it does save face in the long run.
It's a start. Well, at least we're gonna get the sidewalk correct.
The state said, well, we don't warranty the projects. And somebody told me, like, well, I just want the thing done correctly the first time.
Right.
It's not a warranty issue, it's a do it right the first time.
Right.
So it's very frustrating because you're working with 3 people, and everybody says not my fault.
You think we'd be looking at another contract a little differently the next time?
Well,
Well,
who's gonna
it's
know?
not,
Who's
yeah.
gonna know? Who's gonna know? That's my problem with this whole thing is
I mean-
who's gonna know? Nobody in their right mind
No, that's
would
why,
say you're building anything to the contour of the land if you were worried about water going on it. Who would, and how would we know that? You know,
That's they were
I'm
gonna
not,
run it with the plane, the same plane as the road was.
well,
That's what it
We
is.
can say and think what we thought
everything
was
you
gonna
want.
happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
No.
yeah.
They're saying they did what they're supposed to, we're saying we don't like the sidewalk.
Right.
I don't like the sidewalks, I don't think there should be any water anywhere on it.
Right.
Because it's gonna create more of a maintenance problem for our department to have to try to take care of it so people can walk up through there.
You know what happens if somebody
Yeah.
falls on the ice this
Well,
thing?
that's the
Oh,
whole thing.
that's, the biggest thing is I just gotta keep on top of it and
Yeah.
make sure there's no
That'll have
ice
to be,
there.
that'll have to be one of the first places
Yeah,
you get to.
I get it.
Because
Yeah.
of the fact that, to keep the ice off it.
he plowed it today, it didn't look too bad.
Oh, 'cause he pushed all the mess off.
Well,
But
you know,
it's just one of those things where I'm gonna have to stay on top of everything and, I mean,
that's a different subject. We've got a motion on the table for, to authorize Joe to do the,
Can they walk away from the change orders if you chose to do them? If we keep this 25?
I don't know if they could or not, Ron, to be honest
I
with you.
suppose they could, and then we'd have to sue them to get it back, you know, we'd have to go
Yeah,
before
but-
the board. I mean,
Or
they
get
can do
a
anything
different,
they
you get a
want.
different contract. and
But
change
still,
it.
Right.
but still, it's two
Different
different things.
Right.
They didn't do the sidewalk
Right.
the way it should have been, and then they went, this whole thing is just because they didn't finish it on time.
Right, and the
That's what
change
this is.
orders
It's more.
actually are money in their pocket, right? I mean,
Yeah, but if they walk away from it, then it closes out the grant,
or-
potentially.
Or we get somebody else to do the change.
We don't know if we can.
We don't know if you can though, under this grant. So I understand what everyone's saying, but are we biting off our nose to spite our face? If we say we're keeping the 25, they say, well, we're not doing it, I'm not interested in any change orders.
Or double the cost of the change orders.
Whatever.
When do you have to submit this?
I can hold on to it. If I get an okay, I can hold on to it.
I mean, if they're,
Well, they want their, this would get them paid is what you're trying to do.
It'd get them paid a little bit, yeah.
Are they gonna just take that and run, or?
I
Well,
mean,
we still have that. If we authorize this,
Right.
what he's saying, he can sit on it for a while while we're talking,
Yeah.
and then.
I'm not comfortable with that sidewalk, honestly.
well,
If it was my personal sidewalk, I wouldn't be angry, but I would want it to be done right.
Consider it your personal side.
Well, it needs to be done right, you know?
Yeah, it does.
to me, if they're any kind of a company, they'll come back and fix it anyways. I mean,
If they look at future work.
Yeah.
exactly.
And we've got.
Good work never gets talked about. Bad work
We've got
gets talked about
projects.
all the
You're
time.
right, we've got projects coming up. So, I mean, it's not like this was the only project we had going on.
Yeah, a lot of projects.
What's your pleasure, folks? We got a motion on. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. I'd love to talk to the person in the state sometime.
Well, the guy we had
He just-
overseeing the project,
He was,
He was not,
He was right though, it was to spec, I guess.
Yeah, he was right, but,
Right?
but,
No, because when we walked it over with the engineer, those dips were not in the, they were not in the blueprint.
yeah,
They
it's
were
just
In
not,
the blueprint.
everybody's saying,
Our engineer was not a mistake.
That's a, yeah, that's.
everybody's saying it's to the lay of the land and all that, that's just
But they
terrible.
just came and rechecked it, it's to spec.
There are 3 spots they will have to go back and do some repairs, like a foot and a half to 2 feet off.
That'd be like when we wanna put up the salt shed, we're gonna do it to the lay of the land.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I mean.
That's the
sounds-
thing.
it
I was
sounds
thinking
like-
you should have
it
a
sounds-
hole,
It
'cause then
sounds
it'll keep the
crazy,
salt
but
in.
that's basically.
You're good, you're good. Yeah, different.
I mean,
Well, that's what I asked Bob. I said, so when you dug this hollow, do you dig it to the lay of the land, or do you make it flat?
good question. And it's frustrating, I mean,
Do you ever know?
People do a lot of
Sam, you
different
got a
things.
slope like this, it's hard to get the bottom level.
I grew up on that street,
I think they're
I
gonna fight that.
wouldn't mind if it was right. I mean, I don't have a dog in that fight, but nowadays.
Woof.
Anyways, more to come. Alright, anything else? Budget review time. Gee, right on schedule.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Delinquent tax collecting, I have a question. The tax sale advertising, don't we recoup that back on the revenue side?
What are you doing? We're getting there. Hang on. Let's go in order of the way it's written up and then,
got it.
no, town manager.
Town manager, paid
Town
on.
manager first.
I'm like,
You going sideways or?
It's left to
We
right.
didn't have a yellow tag on that, so I figured I'd go into the next one. I'm just picking on you, Joe.
Don't worry, we'll get there. You'll get to pick.
I did put tabs on these and highlight the ones that were.
That's it,
Yeah,
gee.
but there's no tab on the front page.
I know there's no tab.
It really screwed me up.
Let me do.
Alright,
I'm good.
town manager.
No good deed goes unpunished.
No.
Thank you, Joe, I appreciate that.
No problem. So town manager is down a little bit, the salary is down just because last year we had it bumped at 3% in case of, for union negotiations. The 2 1/4 is still in there, it's just a slight reduction. If that makes sense.
Is it just your salary there?
Yeah, that's just me. I'm paid through 3 different, through here, 025 and 020 sewer and water as well.
Anybody got any questions?
I think it's all right to me, I guess.
Alright. Now you're on, John.
Oh, I can't pick on it now.
You already dealt your hand.
Anyway, tax sale advertising, that's $3,000. Can we recoup that on the revenue side?
Advertising is, yes, we can recoup that.
Okay.
I did increase that a little bit because we're doing a lot of
Yeah.
in-house now.
Yeah.
How's it working? You did one tax sale or is that?
Yep, we did one, it went really well. I'm doing research on more than just one, so we can kind of blast them out, like 5 or 6 at a time. The research goes slow,
It does.
but we don't want to mess it up, so.
No? Take it slow.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Moving on. Here we go.
The only question I have is on fuel and propane. That's where we are now, right?
Yeah.
Buildings. Is that just because of 18-19, we only spent $12,000? So we're just going to go to 13 instead of the 15?
So I took the last, whatever it is, 4 years average, 3 years average, figure out how many gallons we used, and then I took the Fed's expected inflation rate of fuel, which was a little more than 2 1/4, I think, and added that to the gallonage,
Okay.
which still brought it down a little.
That's what I'm saying, that's why I put
No, yeah.
2,100 is because of.
The only question I would have, Joe,
It's real.
if we take the old
Yeah, hopefully.
if we take the fuel tank out that we have now, and you're talking 330 gallon tanks,
Mhm.
are we gonna get the same price break on that as we would for the big fill all one time?
It's, honestly, John, I don't know. I don't have,
Still
I don't
take 1,000
know.
gallon done
Yeah,
at a time.
yeah, it's not the end of the world. And not to mention the fact we gotta do it anyways.
Right.
I say leave it where it is.
Well-
I know, I mean, I say with the way Joe
Yeah.
got it in here,
Yeah.
with the $2,100.
Well, I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, I might get a break. It's gonna break anyway.
Well, he's using averages, it's not even our
Yeah.
contract,
Yep.
so that should be,
We should be covered, we should be covered in that because of the averages you're using.
Yeah, I'm using average gallons. And municipal buildings, other purchase services, I left that as 400, but you can cut 1,000 if you want to.
4,000.
Yeah, it's at 4, you can cut it back to 3 if you want to. That's,
What are you cutting?
we just never expend it, it's just for, I know it's town hall cleaning.
Is it computer work too?
No.
What else would it entail?
Do you want
Joe?
Small repairs, and it's just things that we haven't used it in. And you can leave it, or you can cut it, whatever you want, but.
We used 1,700 the last time.
Let's do 1,000 of it.
Let's do 3, and
Yeah, 3,000.
looks like we're doing some.
That's $1,000.
Technology services is computers, what does that represent?
So that,
Is that enough?
it's not.
Put your 1,000
He needs $1,000 more.
So
It wouldn't help.
computers are $3,200. Computers are $3,200 to outfit, everybody that would get computers here. The server was at $7,700. I would ask that the board move that 3,000 into a reserve account. So that way we have it for next year, and then next year fund everything all at once. Computers.
Build it up.
Computers and the server. Because I'm afraid if we get something brand new, a bunch of brand new computers today, and I don't know if it will or will not be a problem, but I was afraid a brand new computer might not work with this extremely outdated server, yeah. Or cause trouble somewhere.
When would we be better off to replace the server?
Do you want to do,
It's $7,700, John.
Well,
do you
yeah,
want
but
to do like a
still.
tech service reserve? Tech
You can put it in municipal building.
municipal building.
What windows are we running at?
Which ones should you have one?
Well, we're
It's just now going out of service. They're no longer.
Seven's gonna go out.
That's what we're using.
Unsupported.
It's on,
Will our computers that we have now push, what are
10.
Windows 10?
I can't imagine, no. They're having a hard time with what we got.
So we've got to replace
Yes. I want to sugarcoat it, but yeah,
Just
the
because
technology's outdated.
Just because 7 is unsupported doesn't mean it's just gonna turn off one day.
No.
No.
It just means that they're not doing updates.
Right,
Security
slow,
updates.
slow.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
It's
the
gonna be-
computer is the speed, the Windows is
It has been
how it
pretty slow in
interfaces
here.
with software.
You're gonna have more of
Well,
those blue screens.
It has been
yeah.
slow in here
Right.
though.
And
Well-
things like,
There's other reasons than just Windows 7. I mean, Windows, as a matter
But computers
matter of
are
fact, the
outdated.
the higher the Windows goes, the more the Windows chokes the computer, because
Yeah.
it's so much more demanding.
Right.
So the computer has to be,
Better.
more robust
Faster.
to handle the Windows, the higher Windows.
You can't run. Joe, don't be afraid, just ask him
Joe,
for
tell
more.
us what you think we should do on these computers.
He
I mean,
did.
if you think we should put it in for next year so everything comes, so you do everything all at once?
so let's do it like that, because the budget is creeping up. If the board was amenable, we could move that 3,000 into the municipal building reserve fund. I'll take it out of here and move it there. And then next year, we'll actually bite the bullet and buy everything.
So do you have to earmark it when you put it in there for that?
Yeah.
Or you won't have to?
No, we just drop it in.
We drop it and we'll just make the motion at the time.
Okay.
Pull
We
it out.
also-
Because
We also could just
I have to agree,
Municipal building reserve.
it's better to do everything all at once, I would think, than try to
But if you,
piece it in, piece it out.
but if you get in a pinch like this fall, the municipal building will have,
It's there.
reserve will have enough
It's
in
in
it.
there,
I
so.
was gonna say, what if they happen to crash tomorrow?
There'll be enough in there, you can just do it.
You're gonna have a big
How
blast.
how much is there? I don't have it in front of me.
And we just got it. so I-
There was like 13,000 after the grant match for the building.
Okay.
And if you add the 3,
16,000?
yeah, so you'll be covered.
Oh, yeah, no, it was more.
So how much did you say a computer is? Each computer is? Did you say that?
I did not, but it's
Oh,
something
okay.
like
3,200 would do all the computers you said.
everybody's computer.
7,700.
That seems low.
It does.
I got
7,700 is the server.
Right.
I got 2 quotes, one from Dell and one from HP. The HP was cheaper, and I like HP better, so that's great. But they were super cheap, like, I don't know, $550 or $650 a shot.
Really?
And we only need 6, something like 6
You
computers.
could actually get them right from the company.
Well,
Yeah, we get a good deal.
That is a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm,
That's
I'm gonna
great.
suggest that you have a couple of hardware people make a presentation of what the system should look like. Right now, we
Vinny can do
have
that
the
for us.
same person, and
Vinny can
he's
do it.
architecting it, and we may be shooting ourselves in the toe if we're putting in too small a computer or too small a network. We need something that grows.
Yeah.
More, you don't have to change everything to update one thing.
No, you don't do a study.
No study, just different ideas.
Jay, we have to do a
Three
study.
different architect guys come in and get creative.
Vinny Cavino can do pretty much that.
Just get bids from
Vinny.
different.
Vinny,
Vinny has
We
What
wanna
I'm saying is you
a
can't tell them what
stranglehold on
to bid.
everybody.
We wanna update
No,
our,
no, we didn't.
we wanna update our computer system.
transfer
not
station,
even
I'm going to go with them.
I got nothing against Vinny, it's just that he's the only one who's been doing it for all this time, and you sometimes get in a rut
Yeah.
with only one.
Yeah, that happens.
I agree.
So with these, I agree with you. With these bids, I actually just talked to HP and said, this is what I'm doing with it. We're doing a lot of word processing, municipal work, and they suggested something to me.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
So, let's see if we can flush that out a little bit, as long as we've got a year to play with.
Well, we got
You know,
the next big
until
crash.
it- yeah, until that
Get
crash.
some estimates.
But, I mean, let's see if we can flush out I mean,
No, I heard you,
Sorry.
sorry.
I used to love
So-
all your stuff, but it is crashed.
Okay, so I'm gonna take 3,000 out of technology and then move it over to the municipal buildings.
Yep.
make sure to put a big bold note there so that when we get to there, we don't take it out.
Yeah, why is this added?
Electric's gonna be okay.
Electric?
I mean, it's close, but
Yeah, there's $6 off last year, that's cool.
yeah, it was just higher a couple of years back, I don't know why, but maybe that we're getting some of our electrical problems taken care of, that could be it too. All right, any other questions? Moving.
Did we do something with three-phase versus
We did some-
single-phase? Did
we
they
did.
do a conversion or
Yeah,
something like
we
that?
did some work, and I
We
think
don't
that,
have.
that may have helped.
We don't have three
It's
phases
down almost $1,000.
What's that with the
Actual.
furnace?
No, it had to do with the fire department, I think.
Yeah,
Because we were told back when we got the generator that the furnace was three-phase. And I remember being told that, and I was like, a three-phase furnace? Oh, it's an old one, so it needs to be three-phase.
No, that,
And which,
there was a lot of misinformation around the generator.
The school building itself was three-phase at one time, but that
Not impressed.
doesn't exist anymore.
Not impressed face.
that was,
What generator
That
is
can
that?
fire you.
Get down
The one
there.
that's sitting outside.
yeah, the one- they can fire you up even to this moment. Yeah, that was, you get a little
It's like
emotional
a
about
bridge
that.
to nowhere.
Yeah.
Situation.
Okay, we're off Muni building unless anybody's got anything else, and we're at health inspector.
I think we should cut $1,000 on the salary.
Well,
Second.
I'm gonna, with the board's indulgence, I'm gonna take that $50 and $40, the $40 doesn't travel very far for mileage. And, 40 and 50 and put it up to, on the 1,500. It doesn't change the bottom line. And, I go to the meetings anyway and I don't charge mileage because $40 doesn't get me anywhere. And the $50, I don't have any dues and meetings, so,
You don't have to get recertified or anything?
no. I just go and I have them.
So you like Joe's budget?
Yeah, just have-
No, he wants to
just
put
have-
90 up.
He wants to have the $90 of the salary.
He wants to put it where he can actually get to it.
Well, I can use it to go, offset some of the expense.
Well, then put in for mileage, and if it's not
Well,
enough
then if
next
you wanna
year,
put in mileage, we'll put down $300.
no, I'm not, put it in, and if we're not paying enough for mileage,
You
we
don't have
will.
any, where are you gonna get it from?
Not there, not this year, not this year, I'm just saying
I
that
think
in the
what we should
future.
do is put in where it says public health salary and put in with mileage and business,
That's why they call it a salary.
everything included.
I'm just sticking $90 up on the top, that's all.
So you want a $90 raise?
Typically, yes.
That's what everyone's hearing.
Let's,
What's your pleasure, folks? How about this? Let's put the 50 down with the 40 and put it at $90 in mileage and see what that does for you. I know if it's not enough, we need to know that, and there's only one
Well,
way
you
to
know what
do
the
that.
federal rate is.
Yeah,
Joe can tell you that.
it's what, 45?
How hard is $90 to you?
58 and a half.
58
and a
now?
half.
Okay.
They raised it.
Well, what's it cost to go to Montpelier? Where do you go?
Montpelier, you could go, Barry, Burlington,
So that's what I mean.
Brattleboro, yeah, we got one. Maybe I can bum a ride with Joe and Bill this time, we'll all go.
Sure.
There you go.
There's no money for travel.
But Joe,
That's not
you
funny.
didn't tell me that yesterday.
What do you wanna do, folks?
Let's leave it as it is and we look at it as we go through the second reading.
Well, he's taking it out now, so.
Well, I know, but if we can, we'll go through and see what we got. I mean, it's only $90 we're talking here, so.
Yeah, we're not gonna break or make the budget right away.
No, you know.
All right, let's just keep it, and we'll try to. I don't think you should be driving any place and not getting paid for mileage.
I don't think you should.
Don't get me wrong.
I do it all regularly, so. I
Yeah, you
put in
should.
for it. You don't see what I
let's,
put in for
let's
it, so.
just change the travel to a stipend to go with the salary. Let's just change it to a flat $100 that they get for mileage, and there's no submitting, he just gets that.
I actually could live with that.
It's fine with me.
Then he can get it, but it's still mileage, and
Yeah,
it,
leave it as mileage, not salary.
right,
You put it back to 100, I don't.
right. And
If you're
call it
gonna-
$100.
Yeah, because that way there, it's not a taxable thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add 100 under mileage.
Yeah.
Travel.
You okay with
Well,
that,
you're gonna
John?
add
Yeah, that
60.
works. It doesn't
You're
make
gonna
a
add-
difference.
Really just
100,
that,
yes.
yeah.
We're gonna change it back to 100.
Yep.
I mean, you can do 90, 100, whatever you wanna do, but 100's around them.
100 is the
Okay.
That means you gotta take it over for breakfast, John.
Where do you wanna go?
Any place.
Feels-
That'll take
That
care of
feels
it. I
wrong,
ruled
but
one place.
okay.
I rolled one place.
Feels wrong.
And we're on
No, that would be-
camera, so
that
I
would
won't
be
say.
wrong. That doesn't have to feel wrong, that would be wrong, that's
Felt.
the real life wrong. Okay, baseball activities first.
So this one got bumped a little bit. The new rec director could really use some help in the front end of baseball.
Yep,
So there's $1,000 extra there to bring the assistant on like a month earlier.
good.
And that's it for complete information. I think that young lady is Glenn Travers's granddaughter. Our assistant is Glenn Travers' granddaughter.
The assistant.
Not that it matters, but just saying.
And they're doing a good job of that too.
Who it is doesn't have anything to do with the budget, does it?
It doesn't, but it's a relation.
What's the other purchase services?
That's what I wanted to pull up.
That's probably,
usually umpires,
that's probably,
right?
umpires in uniform possibly, or
Yep.
no uniform?
Let me take a look.
I think it's umpires.
Oh, they got umpire.
Umpire and entry fees, they got up above, at 15.
Is that
$500.
is that for working on the field, Don?
Oh, maybe.
You talking about 56?
Yeah.
This is, so I was using a little bit for the magic show last year and the year before, general rec events and some of the clinics that the kids are
That's
taking.
right.
Now are paid out of this line.
On a baseball activities?
Baseball clinics, yeah.
Oh, at the clinics, okay.
Yeah.
But
There
I
are
mean,
clinics under rec.
if you were gonna do any of the stuff that happens in the town, that should be in the recreation department as opposed to baseball, so we're,
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
so, you know, maybe that just needs to, that money needs to get shifted down here, some to other purchase services here.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay, moving back.
73,
Oh.
72, 30, 56.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is, so we put in the dugouts are smoked. I don't know if you guys have been down there lately. We do have some people that are willing to help us with labor, but that additional funds is for, some materials to help repair those dugouts.
Did you happen to think about a local sawmill of material?
I haven't. But I'm sure somebody would be willing to donate, because they're in pretty bad shape.
You know, they've been whittled on, I think, with something.
Well, they've been blown over a few times.
Well, that too, but
Or tipped over.
thought they were anchored.
So that's an extra 1,000,
Yeah.
1,100. Okay. Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rec department.
Rec salary, like me, that's down a little bit because we budgeted the 3% last year, so that, it was an inflated number.
Okay.
That's back down to 2.25. Summer wages is up, that extra 1,000 is to, again, hire one more student worker to help with the recreation programs. It gets kind of unruly down there, so they'd like to have one more high school student help manage the program. And advertising, a little bit extra to get the word out.
And what's other purchase services on that?
That was what I just talked about, I flipped to the wrong,
Okay.
yeah.
So you actually dropped that considerably.
That, I didn't want to. I cut that 48 out of there, the board was nice enough to give us an extra 5,000 last year. We used almost none of that money. The board gave us 5K to do extra programming. We did a little bit, but we didn't spend it. And if I'm gonna cut from other programs for not spending the money, I'm gonna have to cut from myself. So,
Well,
Do they have a plan?
I think that's the biggest thing.
Right.
it was hard to organize. We had a new rec director and then, I was year in, so I'm not a big help. So there really wasn't, we were hoping to create a plan on the fly and we didn't. And the rec director does want that money, but I can't. I can't tax people if we're not gonna use it.
Which it may develop as you
Well,
go on now.
if they come to a point that they're ready to improve, then we'll bump that back up next time around. I mean, but it's nice to have the plans ahead of time and not guessing.
That's kind of what we were doing.
Yeah. Why would you tax somebody? Well, I guess,
Right.
why are we thinking like that on the school department? Anything else
Don't
on
make some
rec
$50
department?
this guy, or-
Transportation, same deal.
I can't.
No, so we've had, our programs are staying in town, and a lot of people like that they're staying more local. Some of our residents, they don't necessarily have the money to send a kid out, so we're just keeping it local now, so we don't need to spend money on transportation.
I guess I was gonna ask that question too. Where are we with programs that do cost money?
Do minimal programs. We did some soccer clinics, did an art, I honestly, it's been a while, I don't remember. But we did do soccer and art, and those were well received. And the money just rolled right back in to pay the person that
How
does
much
it.
was it?
I don't have the numbers. I can pull them.
I'd like to know. I would like, if we have to fund some sort of scholarship that, so that people that can't afford it.
We don't turn that, but
Okay, you're not charging, okay. that's what I'm
if you
asking.
can't pay, we don't make.
Okay.
We've
All right.
typically done that anyway.
Good, that's perfect. Okay.
I will pull the numbers, I'll let you know where.
It'd be interesting, you know, you know, came from a family of 8 kids.
Nothing like kicking the can down the road.
It wasn't. Okay, anything else in rec? First time around.
I don't think we do.
Special events, Christmas.
Memorial Day, that's not changed. I was gonna ask you, Joe, the Memorial Day, ever gonna cost us more, you think, or?
Well, it's my understanding that the Fairhaven Legion donated $5,000 toward Memorial Day, so,
I don't know that.
yeah, that's what I was told.
I don't think that's,
Public.
when?
The last meeting, right?
No, it's been a while, it's been at least 2 months.
Okay, I haven't been going, I've just been going for 2 months, so.
So you think you're safe?
I would think so, I mean, you're talking $7,500, I mean, they've got a pretty good group.
They do have a
working on
good
it,
group.
and I mean,
Well,
they're looking at more
Shot
bands
guns,
and, you know, and their stuff like that, and I think that's where the Legion wanted to step up to
Good, okay.
kind of help out, I mean,
So how do we show that $5,000?
that's not coming to us. They'll handle that with the committee. They'll end up getting, this is my understanding.
They're just gonna pay for the float.
We'll give the $2,500 to go toward whatever expenses they've got.
I think that $2,500 goes mostly to the flags.
It could be, that very well could be.
The
Cemeteries.
The cemetery flags.
I thought the Legion paid for that.
I don't think so.
I thought that too.
Well, I'll find out.
Yeah, I think they pay for the flag for the
I
cemetery.
think they do.
The auxiliary ladies put them in.
No.
Yeah,
Well, whoever volunteers, yeah.
I know Castleton does, they do the flags and then they buy the flags and then, the Boy Scouts or the
Maybe we got.
auxiliary or people like that.
Legion does.
I think we give them $2,500 for Memorial Day. How they spend it
Right,
is.
yeah,
Right. And in the end, we get a nice day and
We sure do.
That's right.
for $2,500, that's not a bad thing.
And it-
basically it's for the parade.
Yeah.
Because as far as everything goes on in the park, that's the
This
chamber.
Also chamber.
They're the ones that they developed the thing for the park, so.
Well, they haven't done much lately.
Well, they had a good crowd there last year, though.
No, I mean, they didn't, all they did was collect the money.
Well, yeah,
They didn't do anything and
they really, both places, that and the Apple Fest, they've gotta really get after the people about driving around in the park.
And leaving the cars in the park.
well,
So,
I thought we were gonna, this year, I thought we were gonna collect the fees because, no, the chamber's gonna get it again.
Oh, the coming year?
Yeah, this coming.
Next year?
Yeah.
I reached out to the chamber to see, there was a rumor going around that they weren't going to do it anymore. They said no, in fact, they were gonna expand their vendor list and they were gonna do better this year.
So they're gonna collect the fee.
Yeah, yes.
If-
We have asked for donations for the parade and they.
Well, that's my problem. I got a problem with the town of Fairhaven supporting this, the Legion's supporting this, the chamber walking up and with their hands out.
Hmm.
And in the meantime, what the Memorial Day Saturday does is puts 2,000 or 3,000 people in the park that can use the chamber's businesses. I'm sorry, but if they're not stepping up, then they shouldn't get the cash. If they're stepping up and they're helping, that's a different story, but I don't think they deserve that.
They just make it hard for some of us to get the cars out of the way for the parade to line up.
That's minor, that's.
Yeah, I want them to be part of it, and if they're gonna be part of it, that's fine.
But if you're gonna do this to the chamber, you've also gotta do it to the graded school.
Exactly.
No, the grade school does their work, they do it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you're talking about the money. If you're gonna expect the chamber to donate money towards something, then.
I'm not, I
don't
I'm
think,
sorry.
I can't ever
You know what I'm
expect
saying?
a donation, can I?
Yeah,
I mean, if
I don't want them to donate, I want them to be part of if they're gonna help with the parade and with the festivities, I don't care that they get the money, but the chamber has been kinda non-existent for a while. And then there's been the regional chamber, which means some of the money goes to Pulteney,
well, Castle and Fairhaven.
Castle and Fairhaven, and I think,
Castle, Fairhaven, Hubbardton, I think it is now.
well, I thought there were some Pulteney ones in too, but it doesn't matter, I mean, it goes out of town. And,
But they come over here and they make it good.
if they're gonna be part of it, fine. But if they're not, I don't know why they think they deserve it. I just,
Well, that's not gonna make a difference in our budget. I
no,
mean, so.
No,
and
that's
this
just
is
an-
something we can,
Yep.
we can address this at another time.
and maybe we
And
reach
even
out
talk to the chamber.
to the chamber and see what their plans are.
I mean, because this is what we're given, this is,
Yeah, true.
you know, that's not gonna change our numbers.
Okay, I'm off my soap.
No, it's a point, it's a
Don't
good
bring it
point.
up.
All right, intergovernmental expenses.
County
Have we gotten the,
Concerts or.
You don't know yet.
Vermont Green Up.
Hmm?
That's part of there's two.
Oh, the next.
oh, I'm sure,
Next
yeah, I'm
page.
sure. I didn't see
I
that.
don't know if there's any difference, but
Concerts in the park are the same. That's been like that for a few years, it was 7,000. Moved it up. Vermont Green Up Day is the same.
That's our next, that's not on our agenda for tonight.
Well, it is, it's part of the special events, I didn't realize.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't
Same
see
thing I
that.
did.
Yeah.
Good with that.
I see, just go along with it.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
I had a question on the park. Now, putting in the lights, why does Green Mountain have to put another meter box in?
The service? I don't know.
There is one
You
there
already got
already.
one there.
Yes, there's one there, yeah.
So why do, maybe they don't?
That's all we ever had for one for everything went on in there.
I mean, all you gotta do is put another, where are you gonna overburden it?
They just put
No,
bigger box
Is
in
it heavy
there.
enough? You just put another,
Just have, so you still only have one.
Yeah.
Right?
then that would cut down the Green
That-
Mountain costs.
that'll cut the cost down.
Yeah, I was going from there was a study done previously,
Yeah,
that said there needed to be an upgraded service, so I just carried that forward.
Yeah, so an upgraded service would be just still a bigger service of that one
Yep.
meter.
Yeah, so we're not paying for it.
Right.
Yeah, well, maybe it was cost saving.
cause all you can do is not put another
We
fuse.
certainly have a study done, so we don't have to go.
You could add another box to that one.
Yeah, well, we should get an engineer to study that question.
Yeah.
We will.
Same meter, we're working another one.
You're not out of that woods yet.
I say leave those
Alone.
numbers as written.
Yep.
So down to county tax, that's pretty
not
much.
pay
We don't even know what that's gonna be.
Yes.
No, we don't know yet.
Let's not pay that one.
Yeah.
That doesn't move, it's a couple hundred here or there, so I figured we just flat.
Yeah.
That's why I left it like that.
Well,
and abatements.
till some side.
All the time to think about that.
Until they decide they need a raise.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they probably got that
abatements
number
and
they had
insurance
already.
claims are what they are, Ken.
Yeah, abatements, insurance claims are exactly what they are, and
Yeah,
we've been within budget
done pretty well.
most of
Well, that's good, I think we gained $10.
Yeah.
Time through.
I think we raised it 10, didn't we? Is that all of tonight that we mentioned?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's it, man.
that's it. And it all went to John.
You guys cut $1,000
Yeah.
and then gave John a big fat.
You only gave him 100, there you go, you took 10% of our savings, John. Hope you're happy.
Like that, I like to make sure that's in the minutes.
That's just me. Don't spend it all in one place either.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it, it's just about enough for one place.
It's just gas.
Yeah.
That's the
This,
worst.
page 10 of 11,
It's
Joe.
gas to go to work.
Joe, page 10 of 11 would be nice to work.
My truck cost me about $130
We'll get there.
to fill that Dodge up.
What are we doing?
All right,
We already done purple road.
yep. Parking lot,
Last spring.
we're still working on a paving schedule, we don't need, you said you're.
They've got a plan.
And we'll talk that at some point. Also, the cap reserve funds is out there. Firearms, Haddam Bridge replacement is back to square one.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Well, replacement is moving. Salt shed, still going.
What's the 300,000, so you did drop that into the budget, what's that do to the average household?
The what now?
Say you did put the Adams Street Bridge into the budget at 300,000, what does that do to the average homeowner?
Well,
Isn't it
every
20,000?
20,000 is a penny.
Right, that's what I heard you say.
Well, it's 2 million. It used to be 10,000 was when we had $1 million budget, so.
Yeah.
So it's another, and to be honest with you, I've never checked that number. Somebody told me that 100 years ago.
Well, that's what I just
Everybody's
did.
been saying.
I don't know if it's right, but that's what number you've been using.
It's what I work with. I mean, I believe
It's
the little
$20 for what?
So it'd be $60?
$20 per what?
$20,000.
every $20,000 a penny
Every
everybody.
20,000, okay.
With the 2 million, that kind of makes sense. I mean, that's a real rough number, but
I was just wondering how that actually affected. You know, people might think that
300,000 is,
people might think it's worth it.
that's,
Well,
Southside definitely would.
this little deal this last week, that bridge would have been pretty handy.
you sure would.
The train tracks.
Yeah, they should have just shut that road down from day one,
Yeah, and gotten
especially during the daytime and,
Just
you know,
this kind of.
because they had traffic backed up the main street
I know.
more than once.
Figure it out.
15,000?
Yeah,
I'll take a look.
but it's a reasonable.
Something we always, something that I appreciate with New England is the board could put it as a vote. And just put it in as a line item. Do you want to replace this bridge for this much money? And then you would really know if people wanted it or not.
So, when you get right down to it, it does more than just, Traffic,
300,000
with
is
the
the most
bridge, it's-
manageable plan I've heard.
it's part of
yet for
our
that.
water and sewer
That's the
system.
only reason I'm
Yeah.
not sure that I'm
Yeah.
super behind it, but I just throw it out there that
It's
it's way
300,
better than $1 million.
yeah, it's 300,000 and actually, what do we have? We have actually something like 90,000 promised from the state, not as a grant.
Really?
Looked at, we used to. I don't know if it went
Well,
away.
we
I don't
got
know
some
if
in
it
that
went
bridge
away or
fund
if it's-
anyway, Bob.
But you do have some, like 80 in reserve.
You got 80 in reserve, so
Right.
you're not really
So
looking
all of a
at,
sudden you're looking at like 200.
yeah, if we're lucky. I mean, check that out, but there was, the state had at one time, that was one of the real trying things. The state said that the bridge is not usable. Here's 90,000 for a $600,000 project, you know?
That'd be great.
Thank you very much.
But if you had that, and then you're down to about 100.
And 90, and then what we've got in the replacement,
Yeah.
you know?
That's something we didn't put in,
You know, if
It's-
you're talking about 150 to put that bridge in, all of a sudden,
Right.
The PD, EDA, I think is the acronym for the Fed group, and they were very willing, they're trying to get rid of this money, because people don't see the EDA, the economic development, wing of the government. People don't see them as infrastructure, people who come for infrastructure. So they've got this grant money, and they're just trying to push it out, but 50% is hard to match, though.
Yeah.
And on a brighter note, maybe on a new bridge on that,
I agree with that. It's,
Joe,
we're paying for it anyway, right? So why not have somebody else pay half?
that new bridge might help clear up another problem down there, unsightly problem.
Which one?
The duplex.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well,
Alright,
it's worth looking at. I mean, why just, it's a big number, but, and we just got 6.5 million out of the town people, so it's a big number.
Yeah.
Add another 410 on that.
Totally, after a while it becomes real dollars. Really. Okay, board roundtable,
Shocking number.
okay.
I just got one thing. We need to get our winter parking ban advertised so everybody knows they're gonna get towed if they park on the streets. It's winter time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The Manchester News has been purchased by somebody, I guess.
Really?
So the price of advertisement's going up.
John will like about it.
Oh, and one thing, I cut the
Yeah, we're back to, that 100 is out.
One thing I did forget, guys, my sand come under budget.
And it is good sand.
It is.
I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it was nice clean sand, I thought.
Yeah, even with this cold weather, and as we crushed it up.
Yeah, I think it looked good. I just took it right down by after they set it all up, and I thought the sand looked real well.
Could you put some salt on it too? We did do some sand.
That it?
Yeah.
Maybe it would be with the sidewalk and with this, and we were talking about this earlier for the meeting, maybe have the PD in the morning just walk, drive around or walk around and urge kids to be on the sidewalk and,
You just made it funny.
I mean, every once in a while, just, if nothing else, it's
They don't
community
work.
outreach, it's just something to do, and if they, just walk down Carnarvon Street, walk down Washington Street, or drive down, chirp at the kids.
Kids don't know what Indian File is, I'll tell you that.
I've always felt that should be one of the police things.
I mean, it's up
Just
to,
driving around, because today there's so many fruitcakes out there that are, that would stop and pick a kid up. And I just think of a cruiser present driving around the streets when these kids are walking to school, I think that's a necessity myself.
Sure won't hurt.
I think it's even more than having to sit in front of the school, but that's beside it.
Well, the cars don't think it's in front of the school.
You got a guy sitting in there,
No?
yeah,
you always do.
he's in there. The other thing I had, there were some letters that were going out to the downtown, and they're on the desk here today. I just being nosy, I just saw a whole bunch of, like, all the merchants downtown have letters.
Probably.
A lot of bills.
I don't know, they could be bills, but it just seemed weird that they were all downtown. Maybe that's what they were.
The EDC was doing some outreach as part of the USDA grant.
Could be that, could be that, I don't know, but they were in a window envelope, that's why I thought it was a bill, some sort of. Doesn't matter, it'd be interesting to see what it is.
Yeah, I'll ask and see what they were.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I had one other thing, sorry. The water meters that they've got are capable of telling us if we have a constant flow in the houses.
But we don't have the laptop yet. Did we, is that all in the plan? Is the laptop to read?
So we're actually, we just had this, Bev and I just had this discussion. We're gonna have to actually not make a policy, but make kind of a, I don't even know what you call it, like a work plan, I guess. There was, I think your name, the young lady that complained about the water. We went back and looked at her bill, and there was 7 days where that water ran continuously. But even though we can see that now, if we would have drove by and would have picked it up, we could have called her at that, at that time and said, hey, by the way, your water's running, something's up. We need to figure out a plan to get the guys, because they're always out driving somewhere.
But their reader doesn't tell them that yet.
Yeah, no, they pick it up and
Yeah,
it
they
breaks
don't
it
pick
down.
it up instantly.
Yeah. The thing is, we need to have a plan to pick it up and then report it back, because we're collecting information
Yeah.
constantly, but we need to then
What
act
you're
on that
saying is you
information.
gotta have some kind of a policy for at least once or twice a week, they hit all the streets.
They
with
just
water
drive
meters
around. Instead of reading meters, they're gonna drive around and read meters. Instead of
just-
walking, they're gonna do it like.
Just in their day-to-day operations, they just turn it on.
Yep.
And hey, I'm gonna go check the airport valve, and while they're driving, they'll just pick up that information.
Yep.
And then we just need to take that next step and say, here, Bev, here's this information, let's check and make sure.
I have a quick question too.
So it has
Is
to
your-
go to bed though? That computer doesn't just tell them in their truck?
You have to sort it, it's not just a matter of,
It's not
it will ping red, but then it's gone. It's not like it's flashing red in your face around the dashboard.
It's not like you could stop.
I thought
You
it
got, like,
showed
a
me in the
continuous
truck.
It does,
Okay.
but it also catalogs it.
Could that also be something put in the sewer truck? Because they're out around, they have to drive to check their pumps and stuff. Is there any chance of getting one of them put in that truck also, so you've got almost like a double?
I believe it's all set up for.
It is set up that way?
I think, because he's gonna give me one too.
Because the fact that they go,
You're around more than,
they
two
go
of them
everywhere
together.
in the mornings, they check their pumps every morning, so. I mean,
No,
there's
they're
some
not.
streets you know they're gonna be checking on all the time.
They're going Prospect Street, Adams Street, River Street.
That was actually, like Sam said, we're gonna drop one with DPW.
Very
And now they'll
good
be,
idea.
and they'll be catching it. It's a safeguard for the
It's a
residents.
nice
Everybody,
service.
it's a safeguard for everybody.
It's a nice service to the
It's a lot
residents.
of-
that
it's
you
a lot
don't
of
get
water
that big
that's running.
water bill surprise.
Right.
You know, they're,
Well, that guy, the guy that had
the big leak,
the big leak.
the toilet running in and on
Yeah, and nobody in the house for however long that was. That was
a quarter, right?
Yeah,
It's
it
a little
was-
more than a quarter.
That was like $7,000 or something,
Oh, it was way up there.
$9,000. It was a lot.
That's like,
It'd be nice to know
when
that.
when I leave somewhere, I go out, shut the water off out back of my garage. I mean, I shut my main one off coming into the garage, so if a pipe happened to break while I'm gone on vacation,
Right.
and it runs for
It
3
can
weeks.
only run for a minute.
We get that water main loop too, right?
Yeah, if that freezes, I'm all
Meter,
set.
water meter loop.
Yeah, I got the water meter loop in the middle of the road.
Joe, if you had to see it,
What's
believe
the
me,
knife on that one?
you gotta see it. Here's the water main, and here's the pipe coming
Okay.
off, and it goes like this going over.
Well, it's just like this 42 down here on West Street. If we had to add that meter in there, we.
You're right, you saw
Yeah.
that before
We
it
saw that.
got as bad as it was.
The grass is growing down there.
Anyway, it's just something.
I asked you about Bigelow Hill, right, so we're where we're supposed to be, it's riprap, that's what you wanted. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks good.
All right,
The
well,
state,
there's
the state
some
took
people that
pictures
are
and.
not happy.
You might need a little
You know,
finesse, just the edges and stuff, right?
Okay.
We know who that is.
No matter what, it's better than what it was.
Is that
Yeah,
paid on? Did we get paid for it?
Yeah, last week, what was the last meeting? 5,800?
Okay.
So, I mean, this project is done. Where
The goal is.
are
to
we with any of our other
right?
projects? Are we still, I mean, any projects that we had running, they pretty well put away for the winter now?
Yeah, I got a call.
There's not much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one, but you sent us an email about a high school kid working here.
Oh, yeah.
My question is, I can see it in the spring, but what are we gonna have to do in the wintertime?
You know, I'm not sure. That's what I reached out to Pete and Tom. Tom said he could actually use So the school has to back up.
It's a work.
It's a work study, yeah, and they only want a couple hours a week. It would be great that, Tom said he could use a guy to put in water meters. 2 nuts. Yeah,
Well, but, you know, how many people want a high school kid coming in their house to put in water?
well, Tom would be the.
Well, no, but I'm saying, that was my question when I saw it on the email.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's a great thing in the springtime, because there's a lot of things they can do in spring. They can rake on the sidewalks and stuff.
Water sewer, maybe there's maintenance
You know,
or.
I mean, if you can look through and see, to make sure there's enough work for the guy, so he's not, you know, just coming in here to hang around, you know?
Show them some of the testing that has to be
And
done.
it was what, it was $1,100 or something like that?
Yeah, it was short money for the semester, it was, yeah.
Is
I
it
don't
just-
recall, but something like
Is
that.
this just for a semester, or is it for the whole school year?
It's,
They'll probably keep plugging kids in it.
yeah,
So, so the program's for the year, you're just gonna get a different person every semester.
yeah, that's my understanding of it, this is new for them.
More like a work study.
Could you get more information on that, let us know, and then ask the department heads if they think there'd be
Yep.
enough work for it?
Yeah, you know what I really thought would be great, and would be to get one of these kids in over at wastewater. Now we got a guy gaining hours, and there's this apprenticeship program going on with the state, get them trained up, and then we're creating our own staff as we go, instead of struggling to find people, which is,
It is a
If
struggle.
that's a possibility, I
Maybe
think
you
it's a
could
good
even,
idea.
maybe you could even work with the school, make that a real program.
Well, that's what we talked about. I mean, Neil was talking about putting it over in Rutland at the folk rehab, or the
See, there used to be a program here
Stafford.
in this school, because Mike Barstow he went to care of it.
yeah.
And we had work study kids, and we had a rental business and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was on
They worked great on that. I mean,
It's
it
still
worked out
there.
very well.
It's still there. Aaron did it.
And, matter of fact, one of them ended up working for us for a couple of years after he got out of high school. I mean, it was-
Yeah.
Well,
And they
that's a
could-
program.
I did work study when I was in high school, I worked full-time
I did
and the
too.
afternoon shift.
Yeah, I did too.
It's great.
Yeah, I worked the farm every day. I know my work study.
Yeah,
I wanted to stay in school.
yeah.
I found out I wasn't gonna be a
Good
teacher.
incentive on Jake.
I got mad at the kids because they didn't know anything. And Louis Belsini says, "That's what we're here for, Bob." Financial reports.
Checkbook is $926,894.38. Motion to pay the general fund warrant, $389,130.31.
Is there a second?
I haven't seen
Second.
that,
A second, but what was the high
let me just.
shot for? Was it for salt or sand or something?
No, there was one for the,
389.
pass-through for apple tree. That was the big one.
Oh, yeah, the pass-through.
275 or something like that.
Salt, apple tree was $295 and sand was $12.
Yep.
And then there was another one. What was the other? I was gonna ask that question
Salt?
too.
Salt, sand, and apple
Salt,
tree.
sand.
No, and then there was another one.
GFI or something?
S-A,
Salt.
oh, salt. It's A-L-T. Okay. But it doesn't show 13,000 anyplace in it. And I didn't find 13,000 anyplace.
I might have rounded.
Okay. Salt, I'm looking at S-A-I-T, I'm going, what the hell? All right, so better now.
Salt.
Apple tree was what now?
295,
Pass through.
295,000.
That's what,
That's the grant that it just passed.
okay, all I did is pass through. It wasn't like it didn't come out of a budget, it was a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a check and then we.
They've done a tremendous amount of work up there.
Yeah, they have.
Why salt 13 grand?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
Sand,
Because you bought salt.
Sand.
I've only bought 4 loads.
No, I got sand, I'm not finding salt.
I didn't find it either. I'm glad you asked that question. We forget it.
Who do you buy it from?
Cargo?
Uh,
Cargo?
No.
Barrett trucks up there.
Appalachian.
There you go.
Appalachia? Okay.
But I've only bought 4 loads of salt.
Was it PO, was there, no, I wouldn't do that.
Road salt. $42.67 a load 4267, 4349, and 4532.
45.
4500, yeah.
Did I have it wrong?
4,500 okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
$4,500.
Per invoice,
Oh, per
4,000
invoice, okay.
4,500. He said he got 3 loads, there's,
4 loads,
okay.
should be 4 loads. And the school bought 1,
Yep, so I got 3.
so that's right.
So yeah, it must be,
How come it's yellow colored, man? It used to be white, it's blue.
it's just the mineral.
$4,500
No, we
load.
treat it,
Jeez.
What did I treat?
it's treated.
4267, 4349, and
How
45.
many tons in a
Does it say
load?
the tonnage on it?
If I dig,
Well, there,
I think it's
hang on a second.
okay, 28, 29, the
The
dump trailers, so I think that's all they can run, Jay, is 28, 29. I know it went up to, I think it was $76 a ton this year.
4,500, put that on it.
It's 76.
76 a ton.
Right, 29 ton on load, 27, 29. Yeah, so that's
Well-
2 loads.
That's
Is
still,
The
at
42,
$20 a ton, of course you got truck on the top, but
76. a ton.
$70 a ton.
So it's $2,200 a load.
Yeah, $2,200 a load.
Mine.
Sorry,
I remember when we were buying salt for, I bought salt for Christ's sake for myself, for $20 a ton.
Oh, that was expensive.
We could have ordered that one.
Yes, we do. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Who seconded that?
I did.
motion to pay the payroll warrant, $27,433.90.
Second.
Question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Okay. We have executive session, communication with lawyer. Entertain a motion for that.
Motion to go into executive session, communication for lawyer under 1 GSA 313A1.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.